2 of Bobby Wright, The Man and His Mission, is the question and answer session which followed Dr. Wright's presentation at the Black Psychology and Mental Health Conference at Atlanta Junior College, April 10, 1980. The questions have been edited for clarity. However, Dr. Wright's answers are complete and unedited. How does a black person coming from an all-black environment adjust to a predominantly white situation without losing his identity and compromising his principles? Also, give an example of how black people have been miseducated and trained not to appreciate themselves.
Okay, I think that the first thing we must differentiate is between tactics and principles. I will compromise with you on tactics. If you say certain things about integration, I must go over here and work in this place because I can do something like that's black. I will not compromise on principles. I'm not talking about me, okay? And we have never made a distinction between principles and tactics. And that's why when we'll see a sister, say like Jenny, who's working over there with all those white folks and all, we'll say, see, she's not relevant because she decided to go over there and work for those white people and not realize the things she talked to you about here today. See, and that's why I don't get into Tom and all, but I don't know why Jenny's over there. And I don't know what she's doing. I might not want to know because if they find out she's talking to me, she's really in trouble. You know, I do want all of us to agree at least on the principles on which we exist. That's your first thing. The second thing you raise is the essential question. Most of our children, you see, that is where the Mentacide came in. They took away our history. Most people believe they are from Atlanta. But people in Chicago believe they're from Chicago. Let me give you an example, and just one. One example. You get 5 kids into a room. Italian, Jew, Polish, Irish, black. We don't have show and tell today. Show and tell where your people came from. This child here, Italian. Where did you from? I'm Italian. My people came from Italy. Jew. I'm Jewish. I came from Israel. Although they didn't. Are you going to say it? I came from Israel. All right. Polish. My people are Polish. I came from Poland. Irish. My people are Ireland. I'm from Ireland. Black. Black. I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. I'm serious. I'm from Atlanta. That is. And we have people who are denying. See, the only reason we accept Africa as well as we do today is because that was the only positive thing that came out of Roots. After NBC said it was all right, then everybody became African. Only after NBC. The day before NBC said that, nobody wanted to be it. And we still haven't integrated that, what she was talking about emotionally. Intellectually, oh yes, Dr. Wright, we are from Africa. That's absolutely true, but you must admit, we are also American. Yeah, like what the hell? You don't even have to tell me that. But also, people, let me give you an example when we say African American. Let me tell you how you get trapped in that. Tell me everything you must challenge. African American. Do you realize that blacks in Cuba are also African Americans? Do you know blacks in Brazil are also African Americans? See, if you really want to be precise, you are African United States. That's what it is. That's what it is. See, we must begin to be precise, but I'm an African American. I said, well, okay, then you're Cuban. What? What do you mean? Where do you get Cuba from? You know? Let me give you an example of training here. I'm going to call out 4 names. Charlie, and you be quiet. I'm going to call out 4 names, and anyone who recognizes either one of these names, call up. One's name is Adam A. Collins. The other name is Denise McNair. One is Carol Robertson, and the other one is Cynthia Wesley. Who knows any one of those 4 names? Who knows those 4 names? Do you realize, 1, 2, 3, Mac got 9. You realize those are the 4 little sisters who were killed in Birmingham? Do you know those were the only 4 black women killed in the civil rights movement? Do you know that's why we are trained? We don't even know our heroes. So you got John F. Kennedy's picture up on your wall and not these 4 girls? Your children would never hear these 4 little girls who were down there praying to God and got blown to bits. In Birmingham, 14 years old, 1 11, the other 3 14. See, if these were Jewish girls, they would still be taking up money for them. You see, but that's what I'm saying to you, see. They just mean names to you. But I bet many of you have heard of Anne Frank. You know, that courageous little Jewish girl who hid from the Nazis 4 years.
Good. Should we make attendance at school activities intended to raise black consciousness mandatory for black students? What about students' rights?
Well, you also need to know. This gets back to our sanctions. Gwen knows it to be a truth. Gwen one time gave a Gwen and I think I over at Paskins Gate, and we came down. A lot of us came down by our own expense, and none of these schools were represented. Morehouse, Morris Brown, and all like that. And so I wrote all of the presidents of those schools. Gwen can attest to this. And one took the liberty of writing for all of them, and in fact told me to mind my own business. I'm not surprised by that. What I am saying to you is, let me just tell you some other things that students too have a responsibility. As far as my concern, if I was at Atlanta Junior College and one of my students didn't show up, I didn't have to worry about that. He has rights, and I have rights. And in the end, at the end of the semester, we'll find out who's right. And I ain't got no problem with no black students. No problem with no black. I have some black students now who are big, huge, and professional players. And they'll see what they say. Hey, Bobby, if they didn't come out politically, I said, wait a minute. My dog can call me Bobby. You call me Dr. Wright. Don't ever call me Bobby. Now, what I'm saying to you is that unless we begin to sanction people, and that means we got to develop ways of sanctioning. I'm not talking about having personal vendettas. Let me just give you this about two of the schools over there. I did a lecture there, again, a combined lecture, and one of the most serious problems was over at the complex was that sisters insisted on bestowing their favors on Morehouse men. And somehow the Clark brothers and all was not treated equally. That was one of the problems they brought to me. Now, I resolved that problem. It's not easy to resolve certain problems. The way I resolved the problem is first asking, how do you identify a Morehouse man? Now I know a way I don't want to talk about, but how do you identify Morehouse? How do you identify a Morehouse man? I said, they say, well, they have all this paraphernalia, jackets and all. So my solution was for all the Clark brothers to go over and buy a jacket. I mean, the sisters want to go with jackets. I'm just saying, no, seriously, I'm just saying to you that it's very depressing to come down and see a complex like this one, a complex like this, and I'm going to say something else to you all you might not believe. White folks and white students work hard. Don't blame you. They work hard. Now, don't believe it. My famous one is that where I went in, I was in the research lab. We were doing the brain studies and all. And down in the basement of the hospital, they had all this controlled temperature where all the research was going. In this section, you would have temperature 30 degrees below, because they're trying to find out its effect on the brain and other type of organs. The next one, you got a room that's 90%, 110 degrees. Just like the desert. And they have animals in there and people. And you walk in there, and these white kids who haven't seen the sun in months, literally haven't seen the sun, slept there in that lab, ate in that lab. They'll be in there, the girls will have these little short things on. No sex going on in that place. Nobody know no sex. None of them been almost nude. But let me tell you something else would happen. And that's where you learn white people. You'll go over there into the dissection lab, and here, some white girl will be dissecting an animal and crying. Tears running down her cheek. And, oh, Bobby, this is Rail. Rail was my favorite one. But they started up and dissect that damn thing, and I can just see me on there, oh, this is Bobby. No way I could become attached to an animal and then cut him up and do all that. They could. Look. And I said, look at those people. I'm just saying to you. I'm telling you, what frightens me is when I come down here and see the behavior you all are doing, and then I go to a white school and see the behavior they do. Now, if I went over to a white school, by the way, and gave a lecture, the place would be packed. And they would be packed just to hear this black. They would say, what's he going to come up with now? What is he going to say? Because once he comes up with something, we'll deal with it. Not with him. We don't want to hurt him. We want him to keep talking. See, and then that's what will happen.
How much of the frustration conscious black students feel when their peers don't want to listen to the kind of ideas you discuss? What should be done in these cases? Also, speak to the role of religion in black liberation.
What Harold is a victim of is something that is perfectly natural. He's young. And I don't mean that on a put down. Harold is doing what most young people really do. And as he said, as Brother David said, as he grows older, you will get... See, there are two people generally who don't have enough time. The too young and the too old. And Harold is... The frustration Harold sees is sometimes, if it's not reinforced, if he doesn't get reinforced, which he does through Naeem and others and myself and all, then he'll be okay. So many brothers and sisters who get the Harold, I'm just saying it to you so that you know, you recognize it. It is a very frustrating. It's very depressing. And you know, riding, Harold here's a graduate student, he got to catch a plane tonight back to South Carolina to do his papers and stuff like that. And I understand that. The thing you always have to keep in mind is that it ain't easy. Nobody ever told us it's going to be easy. This is war. This is war. And then war. And the other thing is that it's a continuation. If we can just reach 2 of you, believe it or not, just 2. Just 2. 2 to go out ye into the world and preach the gospel. Yeah, now, I guess we are doing the same thing those people are doing. Whoever you're talking about, yes. I think that you have to push your theory. I think you have to push, your belief. I think as blood and scientists, I think one thing you're going to have to get away from in terms of that's what's right and what's wrong, and begin to think of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. I know it's a problem. You see, when you start, I keep saying, once you move into religion rather than spirituality, you're in trouble. The contradictions are too many. You're in trouble. And you must remember, a point is reached in religion where it becomes, you're not dealing any longer with logic, but you're dealing with faith. You're dealing with faith. And in order to deal with people's faith, sometimes that's not the way. You don't confront them directly. There are other ways you have to get people. You have to get people to begin to question their own faith. And you do that indirectly. And so what I was talking about when I was talking about religion here, what I'm suggesting is, here, one of the things you might be able to do here at the college, begin to learn tactics. Tactics. Not so much as saying those people are irrelevant, but how can I convince them to believe like I believe? And that becomes most important than reacting to, again, I don't know if that answered you, but you just can't do it. You can't confront them and say they're wrong right away. There's no getting back.
I speak to the need for black theories and institutions.
Okay, well, let me answer your first one here, just right here. And I'll put it in terms of, if you stop to think about it, and you always look at this, you see that there's the assumption that if you're a behaviorist, you're at war with the Freudians. So you go to Atlanta University, because the professors, the chairman of the department might be a Freudian, he has people who are Freudians. And that school is known as a Freudian school. Same in economics, whether you're a Samuelson or whether you're this other Jew. What this other Jew, huh? Yeah, what's his name? You know the other one. Whether you're that. And let me tell you though, but the thing they have that we do not have, that's where the failure of our black institutions. You must remember, you always must remember that our black institutions were established to perpetuate the system that established them. Don't ever go over there and hitting black folks upside the head at Morehouse. Morehouse is doing precisely what it was designed to do. And the moment it starts doing something else, it will no longer exist. It's not going to exist anyway. But my point is, White's going to take it. White's going to take it. See, right now, up at Howard University, the dental school is, the majority of dental school students are white. And the Department of Psychology, you're talking about Department of Psychology at Howard University, which is the only black school that gives a PhD in psychology. At that school, of the 14 faculty, 12 are Jews. 14 tenured faculty, 12 are Jews. Only 2 tenured faculty members at Howard University, black. And one is already retired. He's just hanging on today. He retired 10 years ago. Now, my point is, the independent schools, and institutions, that's our problem. See, we don't have, you'll hear my theory, you'll hear Naeem's and everybody else, but that would not become part of your curriculum for you to debate which one is right. Let me give you a good example of it on how they catch us. You'll get everybody in here just against Jensen and Shockley and all. Jensen and Shockley are enemies of